West Ham United 2, Manchester United 0. Another embarrassment, another battering, if the truth be told. More unwanted records for a manager who should not be in this job, who should have been relieved of his duties the moment he told us that he was not trying to implement his style of football. A manager who should have been relieved of his duties the moment we realized that he wasn't trying to, whether it's his decision or the club's decision, but rebuild this football club in an image that made him famous, stylistically, fast-paced, moving of the ball, a very solid shape, speed of play. That should have been the breaking point for every single Manchester United fan. But as usual, we stare into the abyss. We bury our head in the sands like a bunch of ostriches. And we believe that just by saying, let's break the cycle, that we're going to break the cycle. I'm not suggesting for one single minute that just sacking Ten Hag fixes Man United in its entirety. That is the thought process of that's a simple thought process. That is the opinion of a fool. But to suggest that Ten Hag deserves any more time is equally, in my opinion, as foolish. Today was an absolute abomination from start to finish. A slow, lethargic, absolutely uninspiring performance from the start till the end. Almost zero movement in the attack, lots of possession, but nothing being done with it. And why? Because you have Bruno Fernandes, our most creative player, who's being laughed at right now for, I thought Bruno was the most creative. He is, but he's playing deep. And Scott McTominay, because of a brace of goals he scored to win us a game against Brentford a few weeks back, is now starting as the number 10, who offers us nothing if he does not score. And he doesn't often do that, if we're being completely honest. So Bruno's now dropped deep. There's zero creativity. We have young Garnacho, who is still not ready, in my opinion, to play week in, week out, but there's nobody else. There is also the £25 million valued Anthony starting consistently on that right-hand side, who has zero penetration. That man is basically a condom. He's basically a condom. Nothing gets out. Zero. Done. Man's a femidon, in fact. I'm not going to give him the honor of being a condom. He's a femidon. That's what he is. Zero. You then get a situation where Rasmus Højlund's isolated. He's received the fewest amount of passes, attempted through balls, and attempted crosses to him out of every single number 9 in the Premier League. And we are Manchester United. The manager then makes ridiculous decisions by taking Rasmus Højlund off, bringing on Rashford. We lost more possession of the ball, no focal point, and still zero impact from the wings. If McTominay can't create for Højlund, and our wide players can't create for Højlund, how are they going to create for Rashford, who himself drops deep and wanders out wide because he's not a number 9? Purely and simply on the manager. 100%. I want to take nothing away from West Ham here. Their first goal was brilliant. The pass from Paqueta was great. A little bit fortuitous. Good save from Onana. Fell back at the feet of Bowen. He buries it. The next goal, look, criticism where criticism is due. Young Mainu, I thought we had a decent game overall. A really lackluster moment from him. And I feel for the young man because he's at the fledgling stage of his career. But that was horrendous from him. And of course, the ex-Ajax man, the man we should have bought instead of Anthony, and many of us called it, runs through, bang, 2-0, and there was no way back. 6 minutes, killed us, ended us, put us to bed. And there are lots of players here that need to be sold. There's lots of work in the transfer market that needs to happen. And of course, we need the new board that's on its way to fix the cultural issues at this club. But Ten Hag, as our manager, should be no more. 4 defeats in our last 6 games is unacceptable. 4 games now without a win is beyond unacceptable. 4 games without scoring the goal. This is Manchester United's longest run without scoring a goal since 1989. We have just 2 goals in our last 6 games. Abomination. Charlatans. Fiends. This man has got to go. And that is the 13th game we have lost this season. The last time Manchester United lost 13 games before Christmas was in the 1930s. World War II had not taken place. Colour TV had not been invented. Most people were still riding around the manor on the back of a horse. Electricity wasn't in everybody's homes. Most people that were working class didn't have a toilet in their house back then. That is how long it has been. Now, people can call me out and say, I can't believe you're turning on the manager. You can call me a clown. You can attack me. But I want what is best for Manchester United. And I don't believe, like a lot of the delusional Ten Hag outers, that just sacking him will fix us. I don't believe that is plausible, possible, achievable. But that does not mean he should stay. He is part, not the part of the problem at Manchester United. Every time we go through adversity, we collapse. We have not won a game in over 12 months away from home against a team starting in the top 9. We haven't won away from home for over 2 years against a team that starts the day in the top 6. These are elements. Doesn't matter how well he started, how much we need fixing. These things are not acceptable, in my opinion, at Manchester United. And if I viewed it as if I saw the football improving, the patterns of play, the passing, the creativity, if we were moving in the right direction footballing wise, but we were missing a player or two, you know what? If we had our number one striker and a number one midfielder back and a couple of extra centre backs, I think we'll start beating teams. My mind would be different. But not only are we regressing as a team in terms of results, performances are bad. There is zero system. The football has improved nothing. Improved slightly last year, but where we stand now, this is not an improvement on where he left off, where he took off from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In fact, this is worse than anything we saw under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially in year 2. And I'm going to keep the same energy for Ten Hag as I did for Jose. Jose's first season was very good overall. 2 trophies, got us in the Champions League. The next season got us the second in the league, FA Cup final. But it's about where you go. I do care what you've done in the past, but if you don't get us at the top of the mountain, i.e. Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, I'm going to assess you about where we are right now. And every single manager has regressed us, there's no doubt. And this man has done the same. I know for a manager to be successful, more has to be fixed. But the fact this man isn't trying to play a style of football, been calling it out for weeks, he's told us why, for one reason or another, hasn't got the players. That doesn't mean you can't make them pass better. How the hell are West Ham with Moyes passing and moving the ball better than us? I don't care they had more of the ball play than us. They let us have it. As soon as they wanted it, they got it. They are better on the ball. They have a better shape. Why? Because they are well drilled and they work for their manager. We ain't got none of it. So for me, he shouldn't even be sacked. He should resign tonight out of respect for this football club. Refuse any money. He won't do it, but he should leave. And look, we've got to pick the pieces up. We've got to find a new manager. We need a new board. We need so much fixed. But today was another absolute disaster. A pure disaster for Manchester United. And for anyone who still thinks we should stick by this manager, I really need you to explain it. Not just say, we've got to break the cycle. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, we've done that before. It didn't work. I'm not saying just sacking the manager works. I want to know why you think Ten Hag deserves to stay. What is it you have seen? Since March, by the way, this isn't 1 month, 2 months. This is the better part of a year. What have you seen that gives you any hope that it will improve? Some people say, you should be looking at what Newcastle are doing. I think Newcastle, as they get their players back, will improve. I don't actually think he's the man to win the Premier Leagues and Champions League, but I don't think Eddie Howe's time's up. People always throw that out. I look at Poch at Chelsea. They're in a worse position than us league-wise. But you see, stylistically, they've improved. I just think they need some older players to come in and help their youngsters. And then I believe they'll start winning more games. Can you honestly say that about Ten Hag and Man United? Maybe I'm overanalyzing it because I love this club and I obviously don't love any others. I love this football club only. But for me, I cannot fathom, I cannot understand, process a reason yet. No one, for all the challenge I've had in the last few weeks, few months, genuinely, no one has given me an explanation that makes any sense. No one's gone, Terry, this is the reason why. And I've gone, do you know what? That is a good point. The only ones I'll accept is, do you think sacking him will fix us completely? No, and I've never said that for one single moment, and don't believe it. I never have done. I did say when we employed Ten Hag, we'll be back in this situation again if the Glazers don't leave, and here we are. I knew that would be the case, but the manager's burnt. The manager's finished. You can just see where the heads dropped. It took a 19-year-old debutant to pull the ball out the back of the net at 2-0 down and try and up the players. Their heads all dropped. And I know there's an element there where we need to work on the players, but that will be fixed via the new ball and a new manager. This guy cannot do it. Hit the like and share button for me if you haven't done so already. Fuming. You've always got the 0-0 draw at Anfield. Well, this is why it's even more embarrassing. That's not a flex against us, bruv. We know how bad we are. We are absolutely awful. The embarrassment is on Liverpool for not being able to beat us. West Ham did. It's always been on you. You can try the deflection tactics all you want, but imagine not being able to beat this crock of shit. That's the L on you, brother, not the other way around. Even in defense, Rashford did crap. Look, Rashford's in awful form right now, and I kind of get him coming on, but you've got to put him on out wide. But he should never have taken Rasmus Højlund off. He wasn't having the greatest of games. But how do we expect him to do anything when he doesn't get any service? We took him off. There was no focal point. We fell apart. Now you understand, Terry, why I don't want my Barca to be like you. I understand that, Debbie. I don't want to. I personally don't want anyone's club to be like us. Depressing. 18 goals in 18 games is diabolical. As a Gooner, I've never seen a United team play with so little pride and passion. You guys look clueless. Look, we look clueless because of the system. There is a lack of quality in certain areas. And the third most important issue we have is this team has lost belief. It's lost belief in itself. You add all those three things together, terrible system and coaching, a number of players like McTominay that are not good enough, like Johnny Evans, who's over the hill, maybe too many youngsters in the team as well right now because certain things haven't come to fruition and injuries. And then you add into that a lack of belief, a lack of togetherness from these players. And of course, you're going to lose these games.